Today is Saturday, November 4th, 2017. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is the Listener Feedback Show for Episode 6 of Survivor Season 35.
Ramping up. Definitely the season's ramping up. Don't you feel it?
Well, of course. The merge is coming.
Yeah, the merge is imminent, and it's just building. And for me, at least, because I was a fan of Allie, it seems like the season took a big hit. So there's drama. There's a cost associated with this, but I think it makes the overall experience very full also because of that. I was watching a YouTube channel, one of my favorites, called The School of Life. I've subscribed to a little over 200 YouTube channels now. I get most of my entertainment and educational content through there. It seems like these days it takes a little more effort on my part to curate everything, to decide what I'm going to watch. But I'm watching things that I really want to watch. And it's like TV's taking a huge back seat, with the exception of Survivor, and we watch The Walking Dead together. But that's mostly for me just because we've watched it together from the beginning. And then...
and you've been watching The Voice with me.
The Voice, I started watching that with you. And
sometimes I have to tell you to shut it.
And then we watched Forged in Fire. That's been really fun to watch together, too. That's about it for TV, it seems like.
You can't complain during the episode.
Right. Well, I think you're talking about The Walking Dead there. I have an issue with the writers.
Yes.
But, yeah.
And he's not allowed to speak it out loud
I don't get to
until
say
after the show's over.
Yeah, there we go.
Instead of complaining all the way.
But I don't have that issue with a lot of the stuff that I watch there. But I was watching an episode of The School of Life, and they were talking about how the pursuit of happiness is not, life shouldn't be about just happiness. It should be about fulfillment. And there was another word that was Greek, I think, or Latin, that sort of exemplified this concept of fulfillment. And because it involves more of the whole spectrum of life and the richness, and loss is part of that. So I lost Allie, which was a big draw for the season for me because I was interested and invested in her. So that's bittersweet, but I'm really excited to see where the merge is going to go, and I'm also very excited to see what people are thinking after having seen Episode 6 in what seems to be, like we said, a season that's building.
Well, and I enjoyed our interview with her as well.
Yeah, she was an excellent interview. Yeah, really good. Had some good insights for us, too. Anything else you want to add before we get to it?
I think we should jump right in.
Jump in, both feet. Here we go. Take it away, Pete.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is Pete from Boston calling here. And I got to say, with this episode, yeah, baby, a doozy-woozy blindside, and Allie got the bait. Sad to see her go, though. I really wanted to see her make the merge because I thought she had potential to make it to the end and maybe win the game. But now we'll never know. I hope she comes back again. I think Probst really likes her. And man, Ryan and Chrissy, wow, what a duo they became, all because of that power idol from the beginning there. But I don't know, we'll see how they do together. I'm more worried about Ryan, though, because Allie was his number one ally, remember, on the Hustlers there. And then now he's with Chrissy, who maybe he trusts more. I don't know, maybe Allie was too much of a social threat. But I can understand why. He saw that Allie was a much better player than JP. I mean, JP is a beast in challenges, but he brings nothing else. No social strategy, and definitely no strategic game. So you know what? I don't know that it was that of a move for Ryan. We'll see. And Joe finding the idol. Hats off to Joe. He's playing at like a fifth level, it seems. He's all over the place, the here and there. Finding the idol at night was pure genius, so no one would suspect it. And I love that he redug the dirt after he found it, so no one would know. That was just awesome. Devin, no one's talking, but watch out for Devin. He's keeping an eye on Joe, and I think he's a better player than you might give him credit for. Not that laid back, and him and Ashley could be an interesting duo. I like to see who they team up with, and then I like Ben and Lauren. Lauren's a little bit under the radar, even though she still has the social issue. And I just hope Cole or Jess gets voted out, the merge episode. That would be awesome. Preferably Cole. And man, it's only right that he passed out. But I gotta say, that was scary. Hats off to Dr. Mike for jumping on it. He basically was doing what Dr. Joe would do. That was awesome. Dr. Mike is amazing. I hope he makes it all the way to the finale. That'd be great. We'll see now. How many players do we have now? 13? I don't know
12.
What's going to happen with this merge. Hopefully more idols are found. And I bet we'll see some blind sides. Knock on wood. But who do you think, guys? My top players right now are Chrissy and Ryan. Joe's number one. And actually, I don't know where Desi's game is yet. We haven't seen much of her. The weakest players are JP and Cole right now, and probably Jessica. But only time will tell. What do you guys think, Joanne and Stacy, about this? Just curious. Take care. Woo.
Thanks, Pete. I think we're gonna dive into some specifics at the end when we do our wrap up. But
yeah, though I don't think anybody would disagree that Cole and JP are going to have the big targets on them, and that they're not really playing the social game as well as they might think they are.
True. Although I suspect it might lean more towards numbers first. So it may not be the big guns. And what occurred to me while I was listening to Pete was, hey, Devin's got options.
Sure,
Devin's got the Heroes Hustlers option, and Devin potentially has an in with Joe and Desi. And maybe Ashley does too a little bit, although I suspect not as much.
I expect Devin to go right back to Ryan.
Yeah, but he's got options. Mm-hmm. He can be somewhat of a swing. Because he could throw in, if he and Ashley throw in with the healers, then that's going to be rough. So yeah. there's a play there that I wasn't necessarily looking at.
I'm not sure why they would stack it 5-2, but
it depends on how they perceive their position, their connection to Desi and Joe. Because they could have been talking about a Final Four if Joe was investing in Devin, and I think he was a little bit. We saw that a little bit in the last episode. Hey, Devin, are you making sure to get enough water? You know, I got to watch out for you young bucks. You forget to do that kind of thing. He's trying to make some investment in Devin. Also, at the same time, he was covering while he was searching for an idol clue. But
I think Jessica's got a big target on her back because, number one, Mike knows that she's the only one that knows about his idol right now, as far as we know.
You really think she hasn't told Cole?
I don't think she did, no.
I bet she did.
Because she can't trust him not to tell Mike.
I bet
and
she
it's
did.
Not her story to tell, and that could turn Mike against her.
I bet I
bet you she didn't.
She went hypocrite. Well, you know what, Allie?
So. But here's the thing.
Allie split us on our last bet, didn't she?
What do you mean?
On who she was talking to when she left tribal council.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I was talking to JP and talking to about Ryan. So
yeah, I think initially she meant JP. Good luck beating him.
Oh, you would, because that's what you thought.
It. Yeah, but she actually said, well, I was directed at both.
Yeah.
But I don't think
nobody got
necessarily
to win.
think it was in the moment. But she's had a lot of time to think about it since then.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, here's the thing with Jessica. She would be such an easy target instead of going after Cole. She would be so much easier target because they wouldn't be expecting them to go after her. They would be expecting Cole to be a bigger target.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, the bottom line is split the two up. They're too close.
And your path's easier taking her out.
Exactly.
You're taking another out of their number.
Plus, Mike would probably be on board to get rid of somebody that knows about his idol.
I don't know. That's an interesting one. He may not be as quick
cling to the numbers.
He's not going to be as quick because he hasn't had he's got a little bit of an opportunity with Lauren and Ben, and mostly probably with Ben.
Well, Mike is fully aware that he could have been the first out had they gone to tribal. Mm-hmm. They would have the healers would have sent him home first.
It's going to pivot on whether
was understood.
If Joe comes back targeting Mike again, which would just be stupid. I don't think he will, but he might.
Of course he will. Remember, he was telling
Cole
he's not going to stay with you. I think he could have been talking about Devin, but
if he's got if he's got a connection that he's worked out with Devin, if him and Desi have worked something with Ashley, then I guess I could consider.
I think Joe was talking to Cole about Mike.
We're going to weave in and out of this conversation all through the feedback.
Okay,
so
we should go back to the feedback.
Let's keep going. Yeah, good deal. Thanks, Pete. Next up, we got an email from Mike in Omaha. Yay, I got another boot point, but it's unfortunate it's at Allie's expense. In her own words, she got taken out by a little twerp and the liar of all liars. It's Allie's sense of humor that is really going to make me miss her. If Chrissy is that skilled of a liar, I feel that can only mean good things for her chances to win. I really would have loved to see Allie and Chrissy team up, but it just wasn't meant to be. I'm new to JSFL, but I guess at some point people can switch their USB if they want. Well, we're coming up on it. After the merge, you get an opportunity to do that. So not right now, but the next time that'll be open.
After the merge.
Yep. Okay, I've got the liar of all liars, Chrissy, so I'm riding this horse until it dies. Okay, interesting. I feel that Chrissy is savvy enough a game player that when it might be time to cut ties with Ryan, she can pull the trigger. I just hope she can fool someone else with that idol he gave her before that day comes. I feel an inordinate, unfairly excessive amount of pride having said that I knew JP wasn't going anywhere. When I was watching Survivor with my friends, they all felt he was going, and I kept reminding them why he's a perfect pigeon to keep around a while. He not only draws other people's fire as a challenge threat, he's no strategic mastermind. Plus, why would Chrissy or Ryan, students of the game, bring along a social and strategic threat in Allie over a rapid-talking zombie who, if he had an original thought, it would die of loneliness? Oh, I got a snort laugh from Joanne there. You did. Well, we can play it back and you'll see. Okay. This is looking to be an interesting merge because I feel like things could go a lot of different ways. I'm very high on this season so far. This feels like a new season, but one that is organic. At first, I was unsure about keeping these small tribes, but it's working out well. I'm very curious, Joanne and Stacy, do you feel smaller tribes force players to form tighter bonds? Or can tight bonds be established under any circumstances, and it all depends on who the players actually are?
I think it actually keeps them on their toes way more because they get comfortable in the bigger group, and they think they've got
more
the numbers.
Room to hide.
Yeah, there's more room to hide. There's no room to hide in the smaller tribes.
At the same time, you get people who are good at the social part of the game, and they do form tight bonds. Mm-hmm. There's we've seen it happen in the big tribes where they're tight all the way through, so...
I think it gives them a sense of urgency over in a bigger tribe. Maybe they'd sit back a while and kind of see who they thought they could work best with.
Yeah, I hope what they do is mix it up, but they tend to do more of that. I guess that was more common when they were just playing with 16, the two tribes. And we tend to get a lot of variety through the seasons when they're bigger. Common? Two tribes, the 2 8s. Yeah. Okay, good questions. Wrapping up. Again, great show, you guys. Thanks so much. Take care. And that goes not only to Joanne and Stacy, but all you listeners out there, too. Thanks, Mike. Next up, we got audio from Jen.
Hi, everyone. This is Jen in California. Well, I have not watched the episode yet as of Saturday morning due to a very busy and hectic work week and the fact that for my teenage and preteen sons, the new Thor movie took precedence over Survivor on our Friday night last night. So I don't have anything to contribute regarding the episode this week, but I do have a funny little story to relay. On Thursday, as we were driving home from school, my 10-year-old said to me, and I quote, "Mom, remember last week when Jessica said, 'I can't imagine my game without Cole'?" Well, I can. Better. So we went on to have a good laugh about that. I laughed hysterically. I didn't even remember her saying that in the preview, but he did. And we just kind of laughed and had a conversation about how less secrets will be shared. And she might be able to move on and find somebody that she might be able to trust. So anyway, that's it for me. I can't wait to actually see what the episode had in store when I watched the show later on today. And then after that, I can't wait to hear the feedback from everyone else. That's it for me. Till next week. Bye.
Wow, that's cool. I'm excited for you to, how much you're going to enjoy that episode, because I think it was edited and balanced so well. It'll be fun. So you got a lot of good watching to look forward to. How many times have we seen it now?
On this rainy day.
Yeah, we've seen it, 2 or 3 times now, right?
We watched it twice that night.
Yeah. Next up, we got an email from Tina in Virginia.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy. In the last 2 weeks, 2 of my favorite players are gone, Allie and Rourke. I was sad to see Allie go. I think she did have the right to be angry with Ryan, but she should have handled things better. Both Ryan and Chrissy seem like cutthroat players, and good for them. But they should keep it in check. What goes around comes around. When Allie was voted out, I think she was talking to Ryan when she said, "Good luck beating him." Anyway, I classify myself as a hustler with minor healer tendencies, but I'm not sure if the hustlers have a chance at the merge. Ryan plays well and hard, and I like that he apologized to Allie right before he stabbed her in the back for a second time. His character is developing well, and I will enjoy watching him get back with Devin and do more weasel actions. The key word here is madly. Cole, on the other hand, throws super shallow pickup lines at Jessica, and she eats it up like a tasty dessert. Cole has been asking for something that you should never ask for in Survivor, a bigger serving of food. Ben, Mike, and Lauren sure have had enough of Cole, but the scramble for alliance votes next week may save the super couple, Jess Cole, for a bit longer. I'm liking the Mike and Ben team. Hopefully Mike can get in with Chrissy next week. Otherwise, Chrissy may not like Ben's new friend and try to vote out Mike. Mm-hmm. As an actuary, Chrissy always has death on her mind, and she has been a skillful killer thus far.
I like that.
I'm confused about JP. What are your thoughts on him? And what about Desi? Anyway, that's all I have. All right, thanks, Tina. I think JP's an open book.
Yep.
He just got
That's what you see's what you got.
Going along, he knows he's the target, but I don't know if he's capable of doing a whole lot about it.
No, he's much like Cole. We've pretty much seen his full capacity to embrace the game.
Mm-hmm. And Desi's still an unknown, I think, to a certain degree. We've heard her say she would vote Joe out, so she's not attached there. So I think she could be the dark horse.
Certainly, there's potential for her to end up running everything. I can't
don't know about
help.
that, but.
Well, I can't help but think that Desi and Mike are going to be big threats to Chrissy. So that's going to unsettle her to come up against them, and she's going to obviously want to pull together that majority to go after the healers. But it won't take her much time talking to both of them.
You're talking about Chrissy now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, talking to Desi and Mike, or just listening to Desi and Mike talk for her to feel threatened. Look how bent out of shape she got with Rourke.
Chrissy might change her mind, though, if Ben's really intent on keeping Mike. Or if Mike has shared with Ben he's got an idol, which I don't think he would, but.
Yeah, hopefully not. But these are some big tests that are coming for Chrissy for sure.
So many ways it could go.
Yeah. We're at that point where there are lots of branches to consider in this story. Thanks again, Tina. Next up, we got a call from Christina and Pepsi. We hadn't heard from these two in a while. What's going on in Canada?
Hi, it's Pepsi
and Christina
from Canada. So we have a few thoughts. And our first one is that the funniest and best line of the whole episode was that Jessica is not going to live in a van and that Cole is never moving out of said van because he eats too much.
We laughed and laughed at that line.
Yes.
Replayed it back a few times.
Yeah.
So our next observation was that we're getting a lot more excited about Joe. We didn't really like him at the start, but it was kind of exciting to see him find the idol clue again and hide that from Devin. We also thought it was smart that he measured his body for 5 feet or 4 feet. We thought that was very clever.
Yeah, it was a really good use of the materials that he had out there. Finally, we loved the community challenge. It was so cool, and we were talking about how the best way to do it, and next thing you know, the red team's doing what we suggested.
Yeah,
and
we were very, very impressed.
It worked so well. They came back. It was awesome.
So that was super exciting. So the edit definitely had us fooled. We were convinced that JP was going home. But I think it was the right call to vote out Allie and keep JP, because JP is very loyal and he appears to have no game plan at all. So we think that Ryan and Chrissy can lead him really far and that he'll just kind of go along with things. And it's really hard to wing your way all the way to the end anyways. So he shouldn't be too much of a threat in the challenges. There'll be puzzles and stuff.
Yeah, and he has no chance there. It also opens up a chance because JP was pretty close to Ashley, and we're really excited to see Chrissy, Ryan, JP, Devin, and Ashley hook up next week. They're gonna be
awesome.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a crazy 5-some.
Yeah, epic. We're excited.
We're super excited for the merge.
Anyways,
thanks, Joanne and Stacy.
Bye.
Thanks, Pepsi. Thanks, Christina. Great to hear from you guys again. Next up, we got a call from Parker.
Hey, it's Parker from Indiana, and that was, I'd say, a pretty good Survivor episode with good challenges, a good tribal, and someone found an idol, and no one got him back. Cole was good. He didn't die, so that's good. My sister pointed out, watching one episode, that he has no body fat. It's just muscle. You could immediately start to see his ribs as day 6. He does need a lot of food. He should have, like Ben said, he should have stopped worrying about his 6-pack and started, worrying about gaining some weight. Dr. Mike and Jessica jumped right into action. Cole's gonna be good. No, next week might get the boot. Man, those are such good challenges, though. I love how that immunity challenge just came down to the last second. You're just like, what? Oh, my goodness. I was happy that Soko lost the challenge because I had Allie going home, which I was just like, oh, what? When that happened, because when I was going for my picks, I don't know what's going to happen tonight. Allie was on the outs last episode. We'll just go with Allie. And I was right. Taking out Rourke, you take out a healer, and then by taking out Allie, keeping JP, it shows the heroes that you're good with them. Devin's good with Ashley, and then Lauren is good with Ben. And then you have Chrissy and JP who are healers, and Ryan's really good with Chrissy, and then Chrissy's good with Ben, and Ashley's good with JP. And so when they all come together at the merge, they can all align, and they can take the healers out, which that's what I was thinking. That's what you guys got to take out Rourke, and then you have to take out Allie this episode, not JP. And and I was really happy JP didn't go, because last episode I had JP as the vote-off. If he goes this episode, I'm going to be so mad. I'm traveling backwards a little bit. Levu, Joe gets another idol. Just crazy. Make more Tony comparisons, would you? They were talking about how if he makes it to merge, he's going to win. I don't think so. I don't think Joe's going to win, but he's going to make it deep into the merge, but he's not going to win. So that's probably what everybody said about Tony, and Tony won. But stop with the Tony comparisons. Oh, yeah. Last episode before the merge, I finally got the tribe names. Woo! Took me long enough. But, yeah, great episode. I was really happy that it was a great episode, because today is my birthday. And so turned 16 and got to watch Survivor on my birthday, and it was a great episode, great blindside, great challenges, and I was just like, yes! And I got a vote off right, so that was super fun. Great Survivor episode, great day, and next time on Survivor looks really awesome. I can't wait. Merge. Woo!
Awesome. Thanks, Parker, and happy belated
birthday.
Yeah, happy belated birthday. Your birthday's really close to Jeff Probst. His birthday is today, November 4th.
How about that?
Yeah, you should invite him to your birthday next year. Good deal. Thanks, Parker. Next up, we got an email from Shannon in Charleston. Hey, Joanne and Stacy, I was busy with school last week and couldn't get feedback in. All I have to say about Cole and his eating habits is, Cole, you are on Survivor with little rations and a team. When I saw Cole faint on Next Time on Survivor last week, I said maybe he fell into a food coma. Okay, no, that's normally because they've had too much, but I know what you're saying.
Well, because he was eating everybody else's food.
Gotcha. Ryan choosing Chrissy over Allie shows that he's willing to take her to the end over anyone else. This week I was working on homework when Survivor started, but I heard the bickering and Allie telling Ryan, "Why didn't you tell me?" Well, it just isn't a game of Survivor without a blindside. Dr. Mike caught a small fish that unfortunately fell into the fire. Since I don't like fish at all, I wonder how I will last on Survivor, but my parents assure me I will eat the fish, but I'm just not sure. In the reward challenge, JP was very smart on waiting for the rip current to stop and won his team 10 pizzas and Cole's team only got 1. When Cole fainted, I was so relieved he had 2 doctors on his tribe. They didn't even need to call a medic because medical help was already there. I told my dad we should choose Ashley as our vote off this week. When Joe found an idol, I just knew our vote out will go home. But then Ryan's team lost immunity, and that's when I knew Allie would go. Ryan sold his soul to Chrissy by never parting her way. I feel that this will come back to haunt him. Does anyone else? I want to comment on eating rice and beans while watching Survivor. That sounds fun. My family did something somewhat similar. In 6th grade, I had private flute lessons on Wednesdays, which made it too late to cook dinner before Survivor. So we always got Publix fried chicken with beans and potato salad. Yeah.
And that would say Survivor night.
Yeah, regular Wednesday night meal. Cool. I hope everyone enjoyed their Halloween. I dressed as one of my heroes and favorite show, Supergirl. Oh, cool. Excellent. Thanks, Shannon. Thanks for sending in your feedback. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Drew and his crew.
You ready? Are you ready? Yeah. Hey everyone, this is Drew and Charlie in Adelaide. Milo's in the swing. Waffles lost interest because the computer was taking too long to run its updates. So now that that's finally out of the way, some quick feedback about this last episode, which I enjoyed. I watched it after I came home really late one night, so I was not at full capacity, but I still enjoyed it. It took me quite by surprise in the end, but, you know, I didn't have a lot invested in Allie. I did like her, and I was looking forward to seeing her as time went forward. I thought that she and Ryan really had something solid, but apparently not. So, good recap, good interview. Just a few thoughts on a couple of these people. Again, with everyone loving Ryan and how everyone's turning on Ryan, I feel like I'm kind of being led to feel that way, but maybe it's kind of like we're finally seeing what he was really like and they was just trying to win us over to him at the beginning. I don't know. Not really liking him so much just because, I don't know, I think he could have been smarter with the way he handled his relationship with Allie and all of that. I think Mike is coming off pretty well right now and Cole is looking worse and Cole is this guy right here. Cole and Jessica are just looking awful.
Who's Jessica?
Right here. But I think that for all the fans that JP has, I think his game is best when he just performs and doesn't say anything. I feel like every time he opens his mouth, he says something that just makes him look really dumb, and maybe that's part of his appeal, that people think that he's just can be strung along and led to do whatever they want, but I don't know. I'm just not impressed. He's great physical presence in the tribe and on the game, but I don't know. Unimpressed. Sorry. Winner of the week is, I'm going to say Mike, even though I think that his winning stuff was last week, right? I can't remember. I just don't want to give it to anyone else. Loser of the week, I'll give it to Jessica because come on. Just come on. Right, Charlie?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Right,
but yeah, I'm just over Cole and Jessica hardcore. So that's it for me. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Singing some heavy drama music in a choir with the ballet tonight, so that will be fun. I'll talk to you guys next week. Hey, can you say bye?
Bye! Bye!
Baby, that was too loud. Can you say it softer? It's too soft. Can you say it regular?
Bye!
Good girl. Okay.
Bye!
Till next time.
All right. Good job, Adelaide. Good job, Charlie.
Where's Milo?
Oh, and good job, Milo. He was so quiet in the swing. He was observing.
Oh, and we didn't answer Shannon's question about if she thought it would come back on Ryan. I don't think so. It could. I mean, there's always that possibility. But I don't know who's going to be upset. You think Devin or Lauren will be? Because that's the only ones on, their tribe.
Mm-hmm. No, not really. I think they're all about moving on and trying to figure out the merge.
That's kind of why I didn't think it will come back to hurt him. If he was going to go after Allie, I think that was probably the best time to do it.
It's almost the ideal time. Not that you know for sure that the merge is coming next in the next cycle, but if you're going to cut an ally and have to answer for it, that's probably a good time because there's going to be a lot of other things to worry about. Excellent. Thanks, Drew. Next up, we got a call from Kenny.
Hey, guys, it's Kenny from Dallas. Truly a very exciting episode. Last episode, I was blindsided. I was sure that JP was going to go, and I was really shocked to see Allie be the one to go. I think she's a really, really good player, and I think she would be a perfect person to recast in another season. I'd like to see her back. Well, with Allie gone, who's left that could possibly win this game? We have the wonderful Ryan. Ryan is a weasel, but he might win. He could do it. Joe, I hope he goes down soon, but Joe's got an idol. He's certainly a possibility. Ryan and Joe. Chrissy, I think she's burned too many bridges along the way. I don't know about her. Ben's my sentimental favorite. I'd like to see him go. Dr. Mike, smart. He has an idol. Maybe he could do something. But aside from those people, Devin maybe, there's certain people I think who have no chance. I'm curious to see who you guys think has a reasonable chance to win this game. I think Jeff was a little too harsh on JP during the Tribal Council, appearing as a Buddha, silent, kind of calling him out. I think Jeff was trying to get JP voted out. How is Survivor like hockey? Well, Stars were one of the picks maybe to take it all the way for the Stanley Cup Finals. They're playing mediocre right now. Right now they're not going to do it. The same way Allie, I thought, was going to win it, and now she's not going to do it. As a travel tip, and maybe also a future Survivor season, 2 weekends ago we went to Carlsbad Caverns with the road trip. What a great place, and what a awesome place maybe to have a Survivor Carlsbad Caverns, be completely opposite of anything else they've ever done, deep in a cave. And a shout out to my friends and family in Houston. We went there last weekend for a wedding. The town was all excited about the Astros being in the World Series. They've been through a lot. People are still living in different places since their homes were affected by the hurricane and subsequent floods. I'm happy that they have something to cheer about and bring the city together. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Kenny.
Didn't Allie tell us that Jeff got upset with JP? That's one reason he was so hard on him, is that JP wasn't answering Jeff's questions.
Yep.
He just wasn't responding when Jeff would ask questions, and that's why he was kind of getting on him.
Yeah, he said, actually, she said everybody was kind of dogpiling on him. But for sure, Probst was busting his chops because he wasn't fulfilling his basic duty. And we've heard that Probst does that at Tribal Council. If you don't give him complete sentences and answers or something that approximates a reasonable attempt to answer and be engaged, he starts drilling down on you and focusing on you and telling you, look, you're not holding up your end of the bargain here. You don't just get to come here and sit quiet the whole time and not pay a price. There's a great Lincoln quote. I saw it recently. I might have even seen it this morning about, stay quiet. They don't know what you really know until you open your mouth and spoil the surprise. And that seems to be his basic plan, I think, in that regard. Thanks, Kenny. Next up, we've got an email from BrandonB in Brooklyn.
Ding dong. Who is it? A beautiful blindside. Wow, I'm excited for this season. Next week is going to be fantastic with the merge. I really like Allie. I think she will be great playing a second time. However, I think she made terrible choices in this game. I still didn't like the fact that she voted out Patrick, a.k.a. Lord Bolton, and Simone in the beginning of the game. I don't understand why Allie wanted to work with Ryan in the first place. When I first saw Ryan, I didn't trust him, and I knew he would be dangerous. The dynamic between Ryan and Chrissy will be very dangerous. No one knows about their secret super idol pack, and it took out Rourke and Allie. I can see a war between the remaining original healers versus everyone else. I can see Chrissy, Ben, Lauren, Ryan as the core main alliance going forward. But one thing to look out for is when Chrissy is going to target Ashley. I feel Chrissy wants to target the younger, athletic, intelligent women and stay in the shadows against the remaining men. Ashley has bonds with Devin and JP. Chrissy is going to stop that. I think the Chrissy-Ryan alliance will want to target Cole, but they might shift their focus on Jessica for the first vote. The one thing that will make this merge crazy is the healers have 2 idols. The Chrissy-Ryan alliance won't be able to split votes. If the healers can figure out who is going to be targeted, they could save that person. The individual I want to see play during the merge is Joe. I have no idea who his closest ally is. I can't wait to hear everyone else's thoughts. All right, thanks, Brandon.
Yeah, I agree. That's a big question. It doesn't seem like he's built a solid connection with anyone the way you look at the connection between Ryan and Chrissy, and you don't get the sense Joe has that.
Yeah, he's kind of looking at things the way I was and how it would go, and it would be everyone else against the healers, so they'd have the numbers.
Yep, could be, but Brandon's point is excellent. You got 2 idols, and
That's
so
right.
they can flip the script pretty quick.
Rarely that simple.
Yeah.
And then it would be back to 5-5 if they use the idols to take out 2. Then.
If they're able to pull that off. Yeah.
Yep.
Surprise victory. A lot of it'll pivot on how Joe manages that himself at the merge, I think, as well as if the healers stay loyal to each other.
I still think he's going to target Mike, and that could be his downfall.
That would be a huge mistake for sure. But, that's part of what we're looking forward to finding out. Next up, we got audio from Jill.
Hey, Joanne and Stacey. Hi, Survivor fans. It's Jill from the Outback here. For the love of God, Survivor, please, please, please give them their swimming costumes. Ryan is really making himself unpopular with a lot of the players, but they're the players that are getting voted out. So he's really probably doing it all the right way. And I think that Chrissy is the ringleader to everything, but she seems to be coming across as taking the back seat. And I reckon Ryan might get himself in a bit of trouble with this. He's the one that's going to be taking the blame for Chrissy's scheming and everything once it comes to the merge. I felt sorry for Ali going home. She really wanted to be there, and I think she would have done pretty well if she'd made the merge. There was a bit of a misdirect in the edit there tonight. Maybe JP will go home. He's such a physical threat, but I don't think he was in any danger at all. And I also don't think he'll do that great once the merge comes. Thought it was really good how the red team did that community challenge. They just nailed it right from the start, having the only 3 people holding the platform up, and that one person that was putting the block on could just zip in and out and get the job done. They deserved wholly to win that challenge. So once the merge happens, I reckon that they will get rid of a couple of the bigger physical threats. Cole, JP, I think he's in a bit of trouble. Hey, can you guys answer a question for me? Just a production sort of thing. Do you reckon that they have all the challenges made at the start of it all and that they can just go from one to the other, or do they disassemble one challenge and put up another one in the same spot? It does seem that a couple of spots are used more than once, but I just wonder about that. Thanks for everything, Joanne and Stacey. Look forward to the feedback show. Happy days, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Jill. Yeah, they definitely have got some key areas where they do the land challenges and then where they do the water challenges.
And they
so they're set up, tear down.
That, and a lot of the setup, tear down.
Yeah, that's why they've always employed a lot of the local folks too, and that's one of the things that Probst has talked about. And he's just another one of those reasons he's so in love with Fiji, is that the crew, that the local Fiji folks that they're working with there, and their approach to the work is so fantastic.
Yeah, because
they need a lot of them to help.
Yeah, they have said that they have a lot of their own that work for Survivor, but they also hire a couple hundred locals.
Yep.
To come in and work with them. So
it's a pretty big endeavor all through the season, setting up, tearing down, and moving the different pieces and building them out, all that.
I think they might try to organize it ahead of time so that they can use certain, things.
They have a schedule and they know what they're doing when, all that.
We'll do this, and then we can leave this part there and utilize it for...
When I was listening to Jill, it triggered a thought for me. We were watching some of those extra videos, and Ryan had one this week, and he was talking about how he was just so ecstatic being there. Just the experience, and how he's waking up in the middle of the night and taking his buff off and just looking at it and going, I'm on Survivor. And it flashed back to...
This is my buff.
Yeah, but hold on. It flashed back to some extra videos that we saw with Zeke, and it made me start thinking about how Ryan does have some parallels to Zeke, and that he's looking good coming into the merge, but it might be a case where he gets too full of himself in that regard and then flames out and draws too much fire. It's going to be really interesting. Like Jill was talking about how Chrissy and Ryan are managing their actions and who's being perceived as associated with what. You get to hide that more in the smaller tribes, obviously, but come merge time, you can't hide like that anymore. At least I don't think you can as effectively, especially if you're working the social game and you're doing a lot of the interactions, which is one of the things Ryan's been doing, is making the connections and doing the talking. Good deal. Thanks, Jill. Next up, we've got an email from Josh, the Plush Moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanne and Stacy, it was an okay episode. In many ways, it played like the calm before the storm. I expect fireworks next week after the merge. My other observations. Allie did herself no favors when she got in Ryan's face. Dr. Mike may not have fed the tribe with that tiny burnt fish, but he certainly fed his game. Cole's eating reminds me of a toddler who's just discovered solid foods. I guess there isn't much call for table manners in the wilderness. Cole fall down, go boom. Good thing Dr. Mike and Nurse Jessica make house calls. Is it imagination, or did Cole look smug after his faint? It got him food, sympathy, and attention. Did you see that? There's a couple of folks, I think, that mentioned that in the course of the feedback here. You think that he looked like he may have pulled one over on him?
Maybe.
I didn't pick up on it, honestly, if that was the case.
Well, he had this weird kind of smile, I think, or something. I didn't think of it that way at the moment, but we'll go back and look as soon as it's over.
Josh continues, there's a thin line between boyish charm and immature. Cole jumps over that line with both feet. I like Mike, Ben, and Lauren. I'm really ready to see Cole go. Dr. Joe had better look out, or Dr. Mike and Nurse Jessica might take his spot. I threw a Nerf ball at my TV when Joe found another idol. The more I see of Joe in action, the more he reminds me of the early Russell Hantz. During the reward challenge, Chrissy proved that she's not, K-N-O-T, a challenge threat. I don't know if that was really on her, the fact that one of the knots didn't get untied, because I don't know that that was her untying him initially. Wasn't that JP?
I don't know who untied.
Yeah, I think it...
Or didn't untie, or if they even knew they needed to untie.
Yeah, it's another thing we can go double check, but I think in the beginning of that, JP was untying him. I think he missed one, and then Chrissy realized it, but okay.
She was
Josh
just
continues.
Conveniently at the back.
Yeah. I'm sure Soko appreciated the thin cafeteria pizza, but I'm more of a deep dish, thick crust guy myself. Well, I like thin crust. That's always been my favorite. Thin and crispy Pizza Hut, I think, set me up for that in my teens. I wonder how much of that lone second-place pizza wound up in Cole's gaping maw.
There is a video about that, and Ben divided it up.
Right, equally.
Lauren said he did a good job of that. So
the editors seem to be foreshadowing Cole, Joe, and JP as potential merge boots. I laughed myself silly during the immunity challenge. Once Yawa figured out their slack stroll strategy, they looked like they'd bought a challenge advantage at the Survivor auction. It did, didn't it? JP last speed bump on Allie's Under the Bus tour. Oh, that's good. Ryan thinks he's a weasel. Post-merge, he'd better be careful or he may be popped. I'm with Jeff. JP is a black hole of strategy. Next time, everyone drop your buffs. We are merged. Will the merge vote go along tribal lines? Will there be an advantage hidden in the feast? Good point. Definitely something to watch for during the episode. Will Cole eat the entire feast by himself? Tune in Wednesday to find out. Anyway, that's it for me now. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy, for all you do. Can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Thank you, Josh. The other thing to watch is Cole going to pull a Taylor and try to steal some of the leftover merge food and hide it for himself to munch on. I think that's something I'll be watching for.
You think he's that smart?
I think he's that hungry. I'm not going to attribute it to smart.
Okay.
I'm just horrified that this is someone who leads young kids out in the wilderness and teaches them skills now. It's like if your kid was in trouble and he was with Cole, I think Cole would eat him
Oh, you're awful.
Okay, so Cole might leave your kid somewhere while he goes to get help.
Obviously, he's well fed out there.
Yeah, probably.
He's probably never had to deal with it.
Never been tested that way.
He talked about being too lazy to go buy his own groceries. So when he had roommates, he would just eat their food.
Yeah, something about his "I live out of a van" story doesn't quite hold up, right?
Yeah.
Because he was talking about having roommates and stealing their food that he said he eventually replaced, although obviously not right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that they were always coming in and yelling. But he did it deliberately. To me, that's just flat out rude.
Yeah, he's certainly got a long history, according to his own account, of being selfish that way. Yeah, good deal. Thanks again, Josh. Cracked us up as always. Next up, we got audio from Jody.
Hey guys, it's Jody in Brisbane. So I just got to say, Cole's faint, air quotes, was complete fake news. I reckon he planned that out. He's like whinging and whining. He wants more food. Everyone's like, hello, there's no more food. And he's like, yeah, give me more food, give me more food. Faints. Hello, medical was not called. Dr. Mike and Nurse Jessica have a bit of a gaze at him and tell him he needs this and that. But medical was not called, and they give him a bit of tucker, and he smiles. He's got that little boy, I got away with it smile. And not buying it, Cole. No. In other news, Allie's gone. Allie and her hair, her beautiful, beautiful hair. Sorry, Sarah. Sorry, Marla. I'm going to miss it too. Okay, so back to Nurse Jessica. I'm jumping ship on that girl this week. Oh my goodness. I hope she just makes it through this one more so I can get a 10-point USB. But honest to goodness, she's just got those big puppy dog eyes for Cole. And why? I don't understand it. I think she's got ab goggles because she's just like, oh, he's so amazing and did it. No, he's really not. Like, he's pretty, but that's it. Move on. So where do I put my votes now? I don't know. Chrissy and Ryan, I think they're going to go far, but I don't really like them. I don't know. I think I always want the nice person or the likable person to win, and I'm not finding that in them. I think Ryan's a bit of a, in his own words, a weasel. In my words, in Cochrane's clothing. Just, nah, can't relate. I like Ben, and I like Lauren, despite her redhead rant, I think. But yeah, I think Ben, and who's the other one in that little trio? Is it Devon? I can't remember. But hey, do you guys have Devon in the US? Like, it's like luncheon meat or maybe bologna might be a similar thing to you guys. But yeah, like his name just weirds me out. It's funny. Okay, that's about all I've got time for. Thanks for listening to my rambling, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Jody. No, they don't call it Devon over here. They do call it bologna. I had to look that up. But in Australia and New Zealand, basically the equivalent of what we see as bologna is called Devon.
Ah.
It's a lunch meat. So when I was growing up, I was quite the fan of fried bologna sandwiches.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, good stuff. But that would be weird if you looked up at the roster and the guy's name was Bologna. You would think about it differently. So I totally get her point. See, there's another person that thinks Cole was faking the whole faint thing. I don't know. I think he cracked his head on the way down. I think that was real. I don't doubt that he was happy to get extra food because of it, but I don't think it was all an act. I'm finding that one. Let's see. I guess I wouldn't put it past him, but I don't think that's what happened. That seemed a little too authentic in the gibberish and the shaking beforehand. That'd be one heck of a good act.
Yeah,
if he did pull it off that way.
Maybe he's an aspiring actor.
There we go. That's what we didn't know about him. Thanks, Jody. Next up, we got audio from Paul.
Hey, Paul in Louisiana. So here's the deal, at least as I see it. Ryan is playing a strong game. I don't doubt that. But his idea of playing a social game, well, that's getting further and further behind him. This week, I feel that the cardboard cutout would have been a better candidate to remove. What's his name again? JP. It would have eliminated a strong male with a lack of personality, and it could have helped rebuild some trust with Allie and strengthen Ryan's social game. Now, yes, I'm 100% biased when it comes to Allie because she was going to become my next USB. Ryan's been underwhelming me, so his voting her off leaves me in a tight spot. My problem with Ryan is that as much as he says he wants to play a social game, well, his actions suggest otherwise. 2 tribals ago, he got a taste of power, and now he's addicted. From here on out, I see him becoming a more dominant, aggressive player, and that's just not who he is. And that's why this new strategy will be his downfall. Well, to me anyway. And when Devin and Ryan team back up, well, is there going to be any room left for Chrissy anymore? I think that's going to be a problem right there. See, I just think that Ryan is going to become his own worst enemy. Power corrupts, especially in someone like his case. So, who do I pick as my next USB? Well, Joanne, I admire you for sticking with Ryan, but I just have a bad feeling about him that I cannot shake. My problem is that I have no clue who I want to switch to. There are players that I like, Ben, Desi, Ashley, even Dr. Mike, but they're playing behind the scenes, and I don't know if they can elevate their game to a winning position. Jessica and Cole are just, ugh. Chrissy, I don't know. She's weak physically, but she's doing much better than Ryan because he's taking the heat for her moves. If I end up picking her as my new USB, I'll say that, well, I just don't know, and I can't believe that I'm even thinking about that, but honestly, as I see it, it's an option. Joe, well, he's going to Tony himself out of a win. Lauren, well, she suffers from a bit of a lack of personality, but in a different way that JP does. I think she could have some presence in the game, but she's just been in a bad position to express herself as a person. Maybe that'll change with this merge. Devin, come on, the man is a mystery. I'm just glad I don't have to make up my mind this week. So then, who goes next? Well, I think Ryan's going to flex that muscle again, and the votes will read JP. It'll be a good move, but it'll bolster Ryan's ego even more. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I can't help but see a downfall for him, and that's why I'm abandoning ship. I guess that's it for me. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah, that's interesting, huh? You know what I was thinking? One of the things I was thinking when I was listening to Paul was, what's the most unexpected final 3 that you could think of at this point? And he mentioned that Lauren's like a personality, but in a different way than JP. And I thought, there you go. There's your most bizarre final 3 from this cast that you could get. It'd be Lauren, JP, and Cole. I don't know how exactly that could happen that way. I don't, who's going to mastermind that, and who are they going to discard? Who's going to be their 4th and their 5th along the way to something like that? But that would be hilarious. I can't say it would be terribly interesting.
Lauren would have to win. That might be her shots, but I don't think she can stand Cole. So I don't see that happening.
Well, he's like the perfect goat for her in that respect.
Still. To put up with it, to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
While he slobbers all over all the food.
Right.
Blah.
And hoards it and eats too much of it.
Yeah.
And
feels entitled to it.
Let's go back to Kenny's question, and it's kind of riffing on what Paul was saying. Who do you think who are your front runners? Because we didn't answer that. I saved it for the end.
Ryan.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Since he's my USB 24.
Yep.
I think he's a front runner right now, and Chrissy. Though she could get in trouble even, I think, more than Ryan.
Really? Because I can see them both having a hard defense at the end.
Well, they're going to have to check their egos at the door. I think Chrissy
we don't see
will
any
have
evidence of Chrissy doing that yet.
That's why I said I think Chrissy will have a harder time doing that than even Ryan.
What do you think about what Paul was saying about Ryan getting full of himself, flexing that power?
He could, but I think he's got a stoic enough face that he could pull it off, that he could, and because we haven't seen as much of it, but he continues to say things like he makes people laugh, and we'll see what other people, if they think he's funny, but I think that could throw some people off.
You think it's going to rattle Devin any that Allie's gone? Is it going to cause him to wonder about Ryan a little bit?
I don't think so. I think all Ryan would have to say to Devin is like, hey, buddy, it was me or her.
Or I think the more
he was on the line.
That.
Well, why not? If he's on the line, it was either me or Allie. They were coming after us.
But no,
and that was the easy way to.
He leaves himself open by lying like that Chrissy and JP could if they needed to go after him. What he would need to reinforce, I think, is she was moving towards Rourke and she was moving towards the healers.
Any of that. He can come up with something.
That part I would buy. That would help and that would work. So any other front runners for you?
I think even Joe has a shot because of, he is playing smart. I don't particularly like him or his type of player, but he's playing hard, and I admire and respect that.
The big question mark is, can he ride Idols all the way to the end? Because
and would anybody give him the money regardless?
His social game seems to be lacking.
Yeah. So,
from the little bit that we've got.
I don't know if he could garner enough respect to have someone give him the money.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ben has a shot if he can stay in.
Yeah, we're definitely, given the edit we've had on Ben, we're supposed to really like Ben a lot.
I think Dr. Mike has a shot. Big fan.
Mm-hmm.
He really wants it. He wants to prove something.
Yep.
And I imagine he doesn't have as much loyalty to the healers because they were going to vote him out, and he knew it.
Right. And he's had time to make a connection with Ben and Lauren, so that's going to be good for him.
And if that ties into, Ben and Lauren both tie into Chrissy and Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
So will Dr. Mike want to put himself out there as the sole remaining healer?
Mm-hmm.
Will he want to go that far? I don't know. Depends on how much he trusts.
You think he'll try to leverage the idol to buy his way in?
I don't think so. I think he's going to kind of try to keep that under wraps right now.
Mm-hmm.
It would be
if
smart,
he can,
too, with the merge.
What Jessica... The only thing would have been better is if he had hid it from Jessica. I just can't help but think that she hasn't already shared something with Cole.
He's talked about that in an extra clip. He said
it makes
he didn't
him
know
uneasy.
didn't know if she saw it or not, and he didn't want to lie, and then her having seen him dig it up, and then she'd turn on him if he lied to her.
Right.
So he just went with it. But that's another reason why I think he could easily throw a target at her and just say, we need to break the couple up.
That's why Joe's idol's more powerful than Mike's. Nobody knows Joe has it right now. Now, Joe could go tell Cole. They suspect, but they don't know. And supposedly, from what Devin said in the episode, they've been watching him really close. We saw how well that worked for Devin.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about Devin? Has he got a chance to win? Does he have a chance to win the way Ben does, or Dr. Mike? He doesn't feel like he's in that category, right?
Seeing it, though I had him in my Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
But I never saw him as the potential winner. But people like him. I think he's very likable, which is one reason not to take him.
Yeah.
And he probably won't have as much blood on his hands. So
that's the valuable skill to have, I think, at the merge, though. You want to be able to make those connections. That's where I think Ryan missed out on sticking with Chrissy. He would have had more connection options with Allie, but because Chrissy seems to annoy people.
I don't know about that. I don't 100% agree with that.
Sure.
But anyway, I think those are all. I don't necessarily think Ashley has a chance. Desi again, dark horse.
She's a big question mark. Really smart, but since she's not having to play a whole lot, right? She got a pass on the healers, and then she's gotten a pass on the heroes. So
I don't think JP or Cole have a chance at all. And Jessica would be kind of iffy. If they got this girl thing going or something, that it could really switch the game up. But I don't know that will happen. Jessica doesn't appear to want to turn against Cole for any reason.
So where are we at here? We've got Ashley, Desi, Chrissy.
For the original Yawa tribe.
I wasn't asking that. Let me just finish this real quick, because it was with what you were saying.
Go for it.
Ashley, Desi, Chrissy, right? Jessica, Lauren. Is that it for the women? I'm seeing it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Versus 7. Yeah. So 5 women, 7 men.
Yeah, but she would keep Cole around. They would keep some of the guys. They'd pull some of the guys in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dr.
JP.
Mike and Ryan, JP would be great to take. Cole would be great to take because they could be protection, number one. They could be the girls' meat shields, too.
Right.
And they could help win the challenges. But the minute they lose, then the girls can pick them off.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That would be the risk of siding with them.
Then I don't think anybody would make a clean run of it because there's too many different types of challenges at the end.
Don't you think those discussions will come up at the merge, though? It's obvious to have, right? Men versus women's alliance.
Sure.
Especially with the men having an advantage.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah, you don't see it playing out that way? Mm-mm. Okay, now go ahead with what you were saying in terms of from
I was
original
just
tribes.
going to point out the original tribes, the Yawa, the red tribe, there's Devin, Ryan, and Lauren, 3.
Mm-hmm.
With the Lavu, the blue tribe, there's 4, Ashley, JP, Chrissy, and Ben.
Which gives you
and
the 7.
With Soko, the yellow is Cole, Jessica, Mike, Desi, and Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think the healer's going to come back together.
No?
The way people think that they might.
Well, they've got to obviously bring someone with them.
Well, of course.
They've got to get a majority.
Yes. And all they would need is for Ben and Lauren to stay with them.
Or you could end up with some weird thing where there was like 4, 4, and 4, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So they're easy in our minds would be, again, that Yawa and Lavu band together
the
and
hustlers and the heroes,
and just kind of one by one the healers.
Pick off the healers.
However,
starting
like
with
it
Jessica.
was pointed out, there's 2 idols among the healers, so that's probably not going to be. They might think that looks easy, but not so much.
Right.
And it might be interesting to see them try that.
Yeah, that would be pretty dramatic, wouldn't it? It's like, okay, we're just going to pick them off, right? Right. Bam. It goes to 6-5, right? And then, we'll just do it again. Bam. Now it's even. Now the cracks are there for sure, and you'll start to see new alliances form up.
Well, if you look at Yawa, the new Yawa, you got Ben, Lauren, and Mike supposedly together right now.
Right.
Even though Mike's the swing, because he can also stay with Jessica and Nicole. But if those 3, if Ben, Lauren, and Mike did choose to stay together and then join with Chrissy and Ryan, who are tight, and then they could bring Devin and Ashley back in, or keep JP instead of Ashley, or something like that, then they have the majority.
Yep.
And then they could start picking off the stronger ones, Joe, JP, Cole, Jessica, and then Desi, again, could go either way with either group.
Yeah. There's so many possibilities as we head in. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out after that merge feast. And like someone was saying earlier, that if we're going to see an advantage pop up at the feast, if someone's going to get another advantage in a bag of chips or something like that.
Well, and here's the thing. It's going to have to be played. This will be the first time that an advantage has been used within the camp at Tribal Council, within the group, because the first one was sent to another group. So the person that found the advantage didn't get to see it used.
The owner would would be present.
That would be the first time the owner of the advantage would be present to see it used in this game. And have they ever waited to the merge to give them their swimsuits?
I don't remember it, but they do definitely get them, Jill. So you can see in the press photos they get their bathing suits.
I haven't seen that, but thank you, God. Because I just do not want to keep looking. Even you, who you don't normally complain, but even you were saying, I am really tired of seeing them in their
Everybody in their dirty underwear, yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness. They usually do that on like week 3 or 4.
Right.
Oy.
Yeah, episode 7 this time.
I'm afraid I'd have to just throw those clothes away.
So not only are you're rationing food, you're rationing your clothes.
Oh yeah,
tremendously, right? You're having to stay on top of that in a way they haven't before. Otherwise, you'd be wearing them out.
That would be tough.
Yep. And I think that's definitely the case. I think
but it's Survivor.
They were blurring someone's butt this last episode because there's a hole in their underwear now.
Oh, okay.
You just sit down on a piece of wood on one of those rafts or something.
Well, yeah.
Rip. Yeah, or bump into some coral, something like that.
Well, I imagine with the heat and everything, you just have to get over all that. Even if your hiney's hanging out. It's like,
Right.
yeah, well,
Who was that? That was Amanda. They were always fuzzing her out.
that's because your underwear was cut really high.
Yeah, a little small. But yes, for whatever the reason that it may be missing, I guess. Okay, you want to make a prediction? Who's going? Who do you think?
Whew.
What's the easy guess?
Jessica.
Jessica? Okay.
Mhm.
I thought you were going to say JP, that they were going to go for a physical threat. I think a physical threat is going to get a bye this week. I think it is going to be someone like a Jessica.
Yeah, well, like I said, if JP won immunity, then they would have to look at, let's break up this couple, and we should go after Cole. But if they think there's idols out there and they can't split the vote, I think it would just be easier to take Jessica out. You still reach your goal of breaking up the couple, which have one voting block.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just easier because they wouldn't necessarily be expected to go that way.
Do you think that we'll see the reappearance of the unusable super idol, but as a bluff? Chrissy's still holding it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That they're going to bring it out and
At some
showcase
point,
it.
I think so, yeah.
Right. It'll be known one way or another that there's an idol available to be played for that alliance, don't you think?
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's going to seem like to folks at some point potentially that there are three there.
Because the third idol that should have been at one of the other tribes
Mm-hmm.
has never been found.
If we were right that they re-hid one at the healers camp, right? Because Joe just got the one from Heroes, and
Mhm.
Mike found the one at the Hustlers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, well, we're assuming they did
Mm-hmm.
after it was used, though, because they were still in three tribes. But
Right.
we have no way of knowing that, but
Nope.
that would be the assumption, I think.
And you can't account for advantages, so.
Right. So the only people who know about the super idol are Devin, Ryan, and Chrissy that we know of.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Chrissy told Ben.
Or Devin could have told Ashley.
Possible.
Or Desi, yeah.
But
Probably not Joe.
I don't think he would. I think he would.
Well, I think they would have shown us some of that.
Yeah, I think he would
if it
keep
was in
that
play.
under wraps.
Yep.
So who
I'm
is your
excited.
prediction?
I like the Jessica pick. I like that as a way to knock off the healers. Although it's just as easy to go after Cole because of the physical threat.
True. But like I said, it depends on how much paranoia
And
there
this is a
over the
goofy
idol.
immunity challenge.
Oh, yeah, it's not.
I don't think a woman's going to win that one.
Chrissy won't, because you have to balance on
Yeah,
something,
she's probably first out.
You have to stand on something and balance, and there's this ball you have to keep going around in a circle
Yeah.
inside until it flips out.
Yeah, it's not going to be something a lot of people have sort of had experience with, that sensation, and master it quick.
Therefore, I don't know that Cole or JP have that big of an advantage, right?
No, they would.
Because of their... Well,
Devin too. Devin's probably one of the most likely ones to win that, and that's what you want. But I won't be surprised if it comes down to Devin and JP and Cole, because they'll all have been fed, and they've got a really good chance at that. Maybe Desi. I don't think Ryan's got a chance. Not Lauren. Not Mike. I don't even think Ben
Ashley
will be
should.
in it. Maybe. Yeah.
Joe
maybe.
should. Oh no, Joe's not as good on balance.
Mm-mm.
I don't think. At least walking across that teeter-totter thing.
Although Joe's been holding back too.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he could have shot the baskets, but he let Devin do it.
You don't think having to hold that thing and keep the ball going round and round and round with somebody like JP who has the big muscles, do you think they will feel strained because he has, the big upper body?
If he goes all out, like thinking, anybody who thinks, oh, I got to keep this thing going really fast, because you don't.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get a sense of just the minimum required effort to keep it going. Then he could burn out. I'm sure, like you're saying, he could blow his arms out.
I think Jessica could do okay in that kind of challenge. She seems to have pretty good balance.
Yeah, I just can't help but see her as a doofus. I don't think she'll figure it out in time. Could be wrong. But one of the big threats could be JP Cole could be immune. You have to account for that too.
What do you
Who
mean?
wins? And this is their first individual immunity. So if one of those guys wins it, they're not in play as a target. Someone's going to win individual immunity. It could be, very likely could be one of them.
I already said that, but okay. Also, we don't know. Sometimes when they first do the merge, they have a man and a woman win immunity.
Mm-hmm.
They hadn't done that in a while, but they have done that before.
Sure.
I don't know why exactly, but they might.
Just to try to account for balance in the challenge. Because this is going to be a physical endurance kind of thing, I believe, along with dexterity. Good deal. All right, so we're thinking they're going to try to tear apart the healers. It'll go down that original healer alliance line, but definitely it'll be exciting. Jessica could be a target, but picking one of the big physical guys as a target for being voted out makes a lot of sense too. Good deal. Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
Okay, we want to say a big thank you to everybody who sent in their thoughts and predictions this week. We enjoyed all of that, obviously, especially as we head into the unknown of the merge and all these different branching possibilities. I want to give a huge thanks to Christy and Catherine for your subscription donations. Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate your support and help with our operational costs and keeping the podcast out there.
And don't forget to get your picks in before the deadline on Wednesday. And if Jeff says that the person voted out this week is first on jury, that vote off is worth 2 points instead of 1.
Yep. It's worth a little more this week.
That's right.
I can't help but think that they will. It's very likely this person's going to be on the jury.
I can't imagine that with 12 that wouldn't be the beginning of the jury.
They've certainly had smaller ones, but it just seems most likely.
They've had 9 and 3.
But
that is 12.
Yeah.
I don't think they have gone smaller, have they?
Yeah,
have they gone down
so.
to 7 or 8? I guess they have.
Yeah.
But you could go to 8 with 3 people, I guess. But anyway, we will see what they do.
Yep. Okay.
Are there going to be any more surprises for us? They had quite a few in the beginning, but not so much lately. But
another advantage, the potential for that, I think. Yeah.
So.
And then how the null and void super idol gets used.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The bluff play there. I think that's going to be exciting. There's just this episode 7 stands to be jam packed.
Well, if nothing else,
I wish it was a 2-hour.
They could use it to plant in somebody's bag and call them on it. I found it in such and such bag. They're lying. Blah, blah, blah.
Or trade it.
Yeah.
Just tell them straight up. It is, I suppose, to throw them off.
Well, yeah. That would have to be to keep them from playing a real one or something. And you better vote them off if you're going to do that to them.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, you might as well, right? You don't want that enemy laying around, I guess.
No.
Yeah. Although, yeah, and you definitely want them to have plenty of time to cool off in the jury. Yeah. You want to do your most stinging vote-offs right now if you can, so they have time to chill.
Exactly.
Although they all hurt the closer to the end that you get.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Well, that is another element of the game that they have to kick into effect now, which they didn't have to until now, till the jury starts, because those people are gone. We don't have to think about them again. They can't hurt me. They're out.
You're talking about the Losers Lodge folks that go off in the first half.
Yes,
yeah.
But now when you send somebody, they can still hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to
manage it well.
Manage it much
if you can.
Better.
Although the most important thing is to still be there at the end of each cycle.
That's true.
Good deal. Have a good one.